for our president, Ambassador Joseph Bashaleju. And the first question says, have you ever faced a situation where staying true to your values cost you something? How did that experience shape who you are today?
All right, thank you very much. And once again, I welcome everyone to be here. It's good to have us. And thank you very much, sir, for honoring our invitation. Yes, definitely. So let me start with a story during my NC days. That's before I came to Lagos. I was the deputy speaker of my department. So then that year, something happened. There was a move in the department, which I believe that under normal condition, it was not meant to be to the benefit of the students. So at least, and I also realized that the target was just to ensure that they get some things to their pocket, campus politics. Some people are not really trying to play it clear the way it should be. So we were in the sitting now. Then that day, I just observed that the speaker took permission to be out of the sitting. Then I had to preside the sitting, and not knowing that they've actually planned and attempted to manipulate some things. So I decided that I was not going to be part of it. So it was a very terrible moment. It was around 7 p.m. and it started like that. Then before I realized, one of them just brought out a knife and he was threatening me, saying, it's either I sign or he will just hurt me with the knife. So it was terrible. So I was very, very scared. It being the first time, and so I was scared, but I just understand that I will not say yes. And then, so what is the way forward? I started begging him. At least, I'm sorry, I don't mean to disobey you. I don't know you are the godfather. I don't know those things. And so everybody too joined me and they started begging. But he said he would not listen to the pleading unless I yield to that. So I told him to, I'm sorry, sir. I don't know, Mike. I don't know anything. Oh, I'm ill. So, but I was really, really threatened and I was scared. So after that moment, I just realized that I had to say, okay, if that is the case, I will just step down from being the deputy speaker. So I stepped down from being the deputy speaker and they continued their stuff. So if I'm to now answer that question, what it taught me, one of the things that it really taught me is that you don't claim that something is value if it has not passed through tests. For example, you say, oh, this is my personal value, this is my, it's good to say it. But when you now come to a very terrible moment, like my mentor taught me that when you're a tight corner, don't tighten the corner. So until you reach a very tight corner where the chance or the option before you is either to compromise or to yield, then you don't call it value. So that's one of the things he taught me. Then another thing he taught me is that he taught me responsibility. And responsibility in the sense that I have to accept responsibility for the life I want to live, for the life I desire to live. Now, let's look at it. If I had actually accepted the offer that year, I would have possibly been given part of the whatever they want to share. But the question will now be, what am I going to be sharing today? So when we have a big picture of what we want to be, then it's going to also guide our value, such that we know how to say no to some things. And it also helped me in such a way that I have to, because before that time, I didn't really see what I was doing as something reasonable or like that. But when it now passed through that time and I realized that I didn't fail, so I now try to hold on to it as something that, oh boy, this is something you should just live and hold on to. Thank you very much.
Wow, that was very insightful. Thank you very much, sir. That was very insightful. So from what he said, we've been able to pick that your value will be tested. Your values will be tested, especially in this new world that we live in. It will definitely be tested. So the question is, are you going to stand by your values or are you going to neglect your values? That should be for you to answer. So the next question is for Mr. Felix. Mr. Felix, you own the mic. So your question says, can you share one real decision you made as a young person where your values either protected you or cost you something that shaped who you are?
Okay, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, please pardon my voice. My God, good morning.
Good morning.
So it's a privilege to be here. I do not take it for granted. I want to appreciate the team for putting this together. and I want to appreciate everyone present here. So I have a long story to tell, but I will see how I can summarize everything.
Okay, sir.
And in the summary, I will make it very simple. I will use the simplest English I could so that at least everybody here can understand because it has to relate with them.
Everyone.
You asked me a question, a decision I made while I was young that actually shaped my life.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to probably speak to the younger ones here, right?
Yes, sir.
So can you hear me very well? Hope I'm not too fast. Okay, thank you. I want you to ride along with me. So I came from a background that is very, I don't know the right English to use, but not encouraging, right? So, and because of that, I was actually born in a village, right? And when we say village, I know many of us here, your village is not my village. You know that's what I mean by village. For instance, now somebody will say, I'm going to Aba, right? To that person is a village because you stay in Lagos, you feel Aba is a village. But you know that when you get to Aba, there's still a place they call a village in Aba, meaning that there's a village to that village. So let me, in a typical way, I would say I was born in a farm. You understand? So my dad was a farmer, my mom was also a farmer, and I grew up to know my dad as an old man. You know that what it means? So I was not really privileged to experience that young dad that can actually provide everything needed for you. So I can typically say that I had always worked for whatever I had, even right from my young age, paying for my school fees, paying for everything. I was with my mom, my dad. Because my dad was already old, close to 70 at that time, and with some minor medical complications, he was advised not to work. So we were basically working. So all my uniforms, school fees, and everything, we had to work to get money to do all those things. And because of that, I was not okay with that environment, with that situation, and I made up my mind that I was going to be great in life. I made up my mind I was going to become somebody of substance. So because of that, due to the narrative given to us, for you to be a rich person, for you to be wealthy and influential, you have to be a doctor, you have to be a lawyer and an accountant. Well, growing up, we knew that that is actually kind of wrong orientation. So I had already planned that I was going to become a medical doctor. In fact, when I was in primary school, I used to write Dr. Felix Odofin on my...
Dr. Felix.
Yes, I used to write it. And my class teachers then, some of them were calling me doctor to tell you how I was really planning to become a doctor. But when I was in GSS 3, something happened. There was, I'm trying to call the story, please. So we had a Club 15 Oshuru, I don't know if you remember Club 15 Oshuru. So we had a quiz competition. So we write an exam and they'll pick some few selected students across the entire area. Then we'll come for a gathering like this. So that was my first time getting to know that somebody will come to talk to us, and the person was using Abraham Lincoln, was using all the impactful men around the world, wealthiest men around the world. And I was like, hey, the people where I want to be this, not be a doctor. Not be doctors. I was conditioned to think that I was going to become a doctor. And that alone changed something about me, right? So I started my journey while I was in secondary school. Fast forward to when I was in SS2, I had already knew that not more a doctor, but somebody who is going to help others become who they want to be, right? And that led me to, I'm just trying to cut the story short. When I was done with my SS3, I had to leave home, right? I left, so I stopped staying with my parents when immediately I finished my NECO. By the way, my dad died when I was in SS2. So when I was done with NECO after SS3, I had no choice than to just fetch for my life. So if you ask me, my straight answer would be that I decided to be an orphan intentionally. And what does that mean? I left home, so I left our area. I went to Kitipupa to stay for a few months. After that, I was toast, and I was toast to join GNLD. I'm sure probably some of you know GNLD here. right? So I did that for 2 years. I traveled around like some parts of the states in Nigeria here. After a while, I felt like, no, this is not what exactly I wanted to do, right? I came back to write jam. So finally, I got admission into University of Benin after 4 years of leaving SSC. While I was in school, right from my 100 level, I had already been doing what I'm doing now. So I was just not a normal student that all of us here might want to be. Right from my 100 level, I was already organizing programs for my mate, inviting lecturers to come talk to them, invite other people from outside to come talk to them. So when I noticed that this is the 8th edition of this program, I know that it's not been easy, right? To be doing this consistently for 8 years, it's not really been easy. So afterwards, I had to, when I graduated, right, I moved down to Lagos. So in all of this that I'm telling you, you can see intentionality in them. So now this is to bring to everyone here, as young as you are, I would tell you that no dream is ever too big and no dreamer is ever too small. It is the courage to plan and to execute that matters, right? Whatever you want to become here, regardless of where you are coming from. I have one of my quotes that says, you might be born in the ghetto, but that does not determine where you can get to. So you can become...
Sir, I want you to repeat that line. No dreams are too
Okay,
small.
I said, no dream is ever too big, and no dreamer is ever too small. So that means you are not too small to dream. And no matter what your dream is, it is not too big. If you have the plan, the courage to pursue it, it's just a matter of time. You're going to achieve it. And I said lastly that you might be born in the ghetto, but that does not determine where you can get to.
Exactly. So don't let your background keep your back on the ground. Thank you very much, sir. That was very insightful. A round of applause for him, please. So let's move on. We have our beloved doctor, Dr. Eweke, our beloved doctor. This is my own beloved doctor. So the question says, sometimes living by your values is often misunderstood to be strict and unapproachable. How do you often live in such a way that you don't compromise your values and you are still open to people? Can I add to this, sir? It's not part of the question, but I want to add it. I heard it's an essay that your student says that you are very strict, you are wicked, very wicked. You see them talk to you, he's a wicked man. Don't even go near him. And as far as I've known you, you are not as strict as they pictured you to be. So how do I tell the students that you are not strict, you are just a man of value and you are approachable?
Thank you very much for the question, and thank you for the opportunity to be here again. I think this is the 3rd year
Yes,
that
sir.
I'll be coming for this program. So I thank God and I thank the organizers
Thank you, sir.
for inviting me. Okay, so to answer your questions, I am not wicked.
I'll
not
let
wicked.
them know, sir.
And anybody that knows me will know that I'm not wicked. Okay, so it is not wrong to be strict. And so I would say that I am firm in my values, but I am approachable, I'm flexible in my approach. Let me say that again. I said I am firm in my values, but I am flexible in my approach. But people who are not close to me will think that this man is too strict. But if you don't let me, I want to say, if you know about some other people,
Yes.
some other lecturers, you will know that I'm not wicked.
Strict.
So, but for example, one of my current project students, I noticed that she's very withdrawn and she doesn't interact with me so closely as she should be, or as she should do. And incidentally, the person next to my office, she goes to the person's office, interacts with him. So I asked her just this January, what is wrong? Why are you not always coming? Yes. She now said when we were in 300 level, there was one of your classes, and some persons came late, and you sent them out. So since that time, I thought, oh, this man is very strict, this man is very... So, but let me ask you this question. Is it right to go late to classes? Aha, thank you. So if you come late to my class and I send you away, is that being wicked? You have come to school to study, isn't it? And so are you not supposed to be in your class as at when due? Now, let me tell you, some lecturers, once they enter the class, they will not allow anybody to enter. But I don't do that. If a class is for 2 hours and I'm already in the class, as much as possible, I get to my class as early as possible. If I have to go late, I will tell the HOC ahead of time, please, I'll be late. Please tell the class to wait for me. And once I get to the class, the first thing will be to apologize to them for coming late. But for example, I left my home 7 o'clock to make a 8 o'clock class. And now, if you get to the school, because the school is not majorly non-residential, if you get to the class 8:10, 8:30, 9 o'clock, I will allow you. But those that come around 9:30, and they are coming leisurely as if there's nothing at stake, and I send them out, and now they said I'm wicked.
Why would they say such? Why would they
A
say
class
such?
of 2 hours, you have missed 1 hour, 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
So what's the...
What's the 30 minutes for? And they say
So there's no
wicked.
point coming to the class. So if I just help you to say you Onika Shetele, I will just assist your ministry of not having anything to do, and I send you out. So for me, I don't see myself as wicked. But so now let's bring home the point. Jesus is someone that loves sinners but doesn't love their sin, and that is the same thing I do. I am not wicked, and if you get closer to me, you will know that I have that open heart and large heart to assist you, to do whatever I need to do for you. But if you are also not straightforward, if you are found wanting, then you will have issue with me. And that is those that will say I am wicked or I'm strict. I don't know if I've answered your question. So
Yes,
I will
you
tell
have.
you that I am still flexible in my approach. And so if the person really comes to that level of getting closer to me, they will know that I'm not wicked. I may be strict, but I'm not wicked, and I'm still approachable. Thank you.
Yes, Dr. Wekeye may be strict, but he's not wicked. I'll let them know that, sir. Thank you very much for the response. So let's move to Mr. Daniel. The next question is for you. And your question says, what value did you underestimate as a young person that later became critical to your personal identity, career development, and fulfilling your purpose? The one you underestimated, it doesn't, I don't need this one, Jerry.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much.
All right, sir.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
So, I would say they are tiny, I won't necessarily say values, but there were tiny habits
Okay.
I think placed priority on while growing up. And somehow, they have contributed so much to who I am currently. So, before going down to those core habits, I'd like to mention one. First is relationships, people.
Relationships.
So growing up, I was an extreme introvert.
You don't
To the
like
point-
to interact
Yeah,
with
so-
human beings.
So to the point that while I was in secondary school,
Alright.
I could tell you that my sixth partner only hears my voice, good morning, when I answer questions in class, and after that, he or she doesn't hear my voice till the next day. It could be that way. So I just enjoy my own space most times. And when I go to SS3, SS2 precisely, I had a friend who was so passionate about bringing me out of my shell. So coming to school, my foods are packed. While eating, he would dip his spoon inside. So he did it for several times. Whenever I dip his spoon into my food, I'll leave my food, I'll stay hungry, we eat the food. But I go home, I spoke to my mom. My mom, I never knew, my mom came to school to speak to a teacher, and she was like, please tell the boy, or whoever that is doing this, to keep on doing it. To keep on doing it. So somehow, there was my birthday precisely that year. I could not leave my food for him. So I had to eat the food, he ate with me. And just from there, we started talking. And from him, because he was a very social person, from him, during my first 3 days, I got to meet other students. Not that I've not met them, but we had to have a good relationship.
Communicating and interacting with them.
So I wrote JAM, came into school. I was not still all social yet, but I was still coming out. I had a friend, just one friend, and he was very social. So through him too, I was working with other people and all. And I will tell you that after my NYC, so while I was serving, I was posted to Ogun, came back to Lagos. I spoke to him, I was like, oh, where do you, I have these companies open. He gave me the 3 offers. I sent in my CV. I got a job through him. While still with him, I don't know, I wanted to transition to finance. With the company, I want to transition to finance. No, not him at this time, someone else. I want to transition to finance. I felt like, oh, if you have what it takes, oh yeah, I'm going to speak to the HR. I did an interview with the HR, with the board. I got into. Currently, I'm actually going through an interview process, and it is also through someone. So somehow, working with people have contributed. Like I've gotten benefit from them. So relationships, people in real sense, is one. I didn't necessarily place value on it earlier, but yeah, along the line. And so one thing again is consistency and goal setting. Growing up, if I say I want to get, my mom knows me for one thing. If I said I want to get 10 pieces of something, I don't rest until I get it. To me, it was just a thing of setting goal, getting it, no problem. Just hitting the streak to go in. Then over time, secondary school, I can still remember there was a term where I think my first 2 days, I said, oh, from this first term, I've always had a switch of first, second with a lady. So I've always said, from this, I don't think this is ever going to go beyond me again. I have to keep on top in the class till I graduate. And oh yes, I kept on top in class. It's just a thing of goal setting. To me, it was fun. Oh, I set to achieve this. I just want to do anything that warrants me getting there. Down to the university, it has just been a thing of, oh, this semester I want to get a 5.0. I get a 5.0 this semester. Yeah. Oh, this semester I want to get this particular. I just keep. So these are the 2 core skills. I didn't necessarily place so much. I was just doing them out of, but it has contributed so much. And down to work, my MD will tell you, if Daniel tell you that this tax is a tax of 2 weeks, if Daniel tell you he will do this tax in 3 days, the rest assured you will get it in 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think
a round of applause for that. Mr. Daniel, who officially came out of his shell and now is associating with human beings. A round of applause for him, please. So our next question goes to our president. And his question says, we often say purpose is the compass that shows direction. Why values are the manual that tell you how to move? How can you explain, using a real-life example, the specific role value plays in helping a young person discover, pursue, and stay committed to their purpose, especially when the journey becomes extremely difficult?
Thank you very much once again for that question. So let me put it this way, that purpose tells who you are, while value tells who you are becoming along the way. For example, if you are coming from the other gates now, we have Faculty of Science, Faculty of Law, but where you are going is not actually those landmarks that you have along the path. So the question will now be, what role does your value play along this line? If you don't have in mind where you are going, which is Faculty of Education, there is this temptation that may just come up to say, okay, let me stop here. So one of the things I've seen so far, using a lifestyle experience or example, is that value keeps you on track in such a way that as time goes on, people will bring offer. Oh, what if you do this? What if you do that? So it will filter your decision in such a way that when the person comes to say, at least there are several times people have just come to me to just offer me some things. Not really because they are completely bad, But I realized that what I am pursuing, there is no alignment between what they are offering me to where I am going. So I have to just decline. So it helps to filter your decision. So there is this old story again that they told us while growing up, a politician who he has been trying to come into the office, but he was unable. Then that year he went to the baales and the kings in that environment, and he told them that, sir, this year is either I win this election or I commit suicide. So they tried everything. They helped him into the office through manipulation. But some months after the office, he died. And how did he die? There's something they called in Yoruba, they call it magun. And I think they call it thunderbolts now. Yes. So he was caught sleeping with another man's wife in his office. Some months after he got to the office. So you can see, he had the ambition to become a leader. But the values he held on to along the line cut short the journey. So that's another benefit of values. It sustains you in your journey. Like I said, number one, it helps you to filter your decision. Number two, it sustains you along the path in such a way that, then another thing is that it filters your relationship. You have to come to that point where you realize that not everybody is meant to be in your circle. Just as Dr. Eweke said, you know, when I got to LASU 100 level, I was told that it's a no-go area. So that gave me this mindset that even when he entered the class, while he was lecturing, I would not be flowing because something has been planted in my heart. And but you know that after 200 level, I got to know that, this is not what they told me, and this is not who they have pictured to me. And that at some point now, like, triggered the desire to be a lecturer. I just like, no, I want to one day become a lecturer like him. And I know that dream is still
it's
active.
possible.
So what am I saying? When you come to that point, you realize that it filters even your perspective. That, this thing is not for me. This thing is for them. It filters your decision. And another thing I would just add is that when it comes to values, I mentioned that it defines your network. Then value keeps you going. See, the journey of purpose is a journey that is worth going. But we have to understand that purpose is not an ambition. That's I start today. Tomorrow, law is not lawing. I want to go into, like my former doctor. Of course, he's still doctoring lives now. So we have to look at it that, see, it will keep you going. Sometimes applaud will fade. Sometimes you look around you and you see that even the people that have been cheering you up, you just look behind you and see that you won't see them. So what keeps you going is your value, either to bend or to break. Thank you very much.
Well, let's appreciate that insight. It was insightful. So the next question is for Mr. Felix. From your story earlier, sir, where you mentioned the doctor part, I have to keep my tabs on that, sir. So how can young people discover purpose early and avoid wasted years?
Okay. So the concept of purpose has actually, it's a problem that many people are trying to solve till they become old. And that is because the narrative given to us about purpose, personally, with my studies, research, and personal life experience, I feel that purpose is not that hard, the way they painted it. And that is why, with the way different writers have written about purpose, I prefer Dr. Miles Moron. He simplifies to the extent that you can easily understand it, right? And to an extent, if you are a Christian and you are very strong being a Christian, not just a just goer, sometimes the way pastors put this purpose of it, you feel like, God, when will I even know this purpose? You understand? Yeah. But for me, I think, for instance, if you are either you're a Christian or a Muslim, I'm not here to convert you, right? But I'm a Christian, so I would love to bring some concept from the biblical this thing. Number one, you must identify who you are. That is the first point in becoming, identifying what your purpose is. And the first thing is to know that you are God. This is not just trying to say what the Bible has said, that have I not said that you are God, but biologically, we are actually God. Now let's try to understand this. The Bible told us that, or we were meant to believe that man was made from the dust. Am I correct? Man was made from the dust, right? Yeah. But let me help you understand that man wasn't made from the dust. right? I think NIV version says, the body of the man was made from the dust. So man in itself was not from the dust. It was the body that was from the dust. And Bible went on to say that when God gave you the bread of life, the man became a living soul, right? Are we still together? This is like a deliverance now. So now, understand that the man made from the dust, the body from the dust was not the man, but the life from God into the man made that body a man. Now, biologically speaking, biology students, let's talk together. Do you agree with me that the life of a man, the breath of a man is the life of that man? Do you agree with me, biology student? Now, if God gave you his life, what did he give you? I'm sorry, if God gave you his breath, what did he give you? If you are carrying the life of God, who are you? So, coming from that perspective, then you know that everything domiciled in God is also in you. This is not another attempt to claim equality with God or to claim sovereignty with God. But God has deposited many things inside of you. The creativity of God is in you, right? Everything possible in God is also possible in this person called you. So you are not just this body. You are fair in complexion, you are dark in complexion, you are short, you tall. That is not who you are. The real you is in you, right? If you don't take anything from here, just take that. The real you is in you. That will now make you to now look into yourself that what is actually in me, right? In the Christian field, we call it talent or we call it gift, right? In the secular world, we can call it potentials, right? So nobody here was born empty. You were born naked but not empty. There is something inside of you that God has given to you. Now let me say this again. How many of you believe that God created you and sent you to this world? How many of you believe that you were sent to this world? You all believe that, right? Now, let's journey together again. Do you believe that God cannot send you to this world without proper equipping you for what you need to journey through life? Do you believe that?
Yes, sir.
Now, just imagine your father, your earthly father, telling you to go to Abuja. You've not been to Abuja before, and this man is not providing everything you need to carry out that assignment in Abuja. What do you call that kind of father? He's a wicked man, right? Yes. Telling you to go to Abuja to carry out his own assignment that he has given to you. No money, no accommodation, nothing. And you want you to go. God cannot be that kind of person. So if you know that God has given you a purpose to fulfill on earth, definitely he has actually equipped you. So the journey of purpose starts from you identifying who you are, the talent inherent in you, the potentials inherent in you. And this alone will help you to navigate a bearing that leads you to where and what God wants you to do in life. And that exactly is what we call purpose. Basically, by definition, purpose is the reason why you were born, right? And the best way to know why you were born, why you are existing, is to know the equipment that God has given to you, inherent in you. The way a physical father will give you money, will give you a car and other things to journey through Abuja, all of these things has already been given to you, but it is innate. You have to look into yourself to actually be able to bring out all of these things, then bring them to manifestation. So this can be done through prayers, this can be done through prophecies, this can be done through personal research, personal analysis of yourself. Maybe, normally we call it the SWOT analysis, trying to know your weakness, know your strength, know your opportunities and realize. But the point is, for someone like me, right? For someone like me, I will tell you that look into yourself. I believe that purpose is not really what somebody can tell you that you are a doctor. And that means, except maybe through prophecy, right? And you know prophecy is divine, not just ordinary. That is true prophecy anyways. True prophecy is divine. So except through prophecy, nobody can actually tell you this is who you are. But with your self-assessment, you can actually bring out something about what is inherent in you, what is domiciled in you. Then you can use that as a compass to where God wants you to be and what God wants you to do. Thank you.
Rana, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. The next person is our doctor. And the question says, why do young people need mentors early in order to live an impactful life, both in academics and in every sphere of life?
Okay. Thank you very much. Young people need mentors to guide them. So mentors will give you, they are like examples, they are like role models for you. They will give you perspectives in life. The Bible says, if the foundation is destroyed, what can the righteous do? And so, for you to make it in life, for you to be able to go far, you need someone to mentor you. You need someone that has seen it all, that knows more than you. Are you with me? And so you need someone to mentor you. You need someone to guide you. Instead of just beating about the bush, the last speaker talked about purpose. Maybe someone has given you some insight. And he talked about one program that he attended where his orientation changed. So if you don't have someone to mentor you, you will just be beating about the bush, and you have tendency to miss it. And so you need the mentor early in life to give you direction, to give you insight, to show you like the compass, as it has been said earlier, like to give you like a trajectory that you should follow. So mentors are people that have ideas, they have knowledge more than you. And so you need to sit down and, well, they call some people tormentors. Some, instead of being mentors, they are tormentors. And so you have to be very careful also in your choice of mentors. You know the people that will want good for you, that want the best for you. All right? So it's someone that has more experience than you, that can give you guideline, that can lead you, that can guide you, that can, help you to know the right path to go. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. A round of applause for the response. Mr. Daniel, this question is for you, and it says, what values should young person intentionally practice while in school and will prepare them for life after campus?
Okay. Thank you very much. So, values of undergraduates should hold with high esteem.
Yes, sir.
Which will prepare them for life after school. I think first value I will recommend is consistency, resilience. Why do I say consistency? I feel, not just feeling, I know the pressure we get in the school environment is nothing compared to the pressure you will face at the corporate world. For those who want to go to the corporate field. In school, you're being given assignments. You have a choice of turning it in if you want to. The grade is yours, not that of the lecturer. But at the corporate level, you don't have a choice. It's a demand. So if you're not resilient, if you can't stand the test of time, you can't persevere, you won't be able to necessarily thrive in corporate, like in your career. This has, even in your personal business thereafter, you'll be able to stand the test of time. So second value I would recommend for students, undergraduates, both secondary school students. I think currently I have a friend who is, not necessarily a friend, but I'm taking him as a friend, so we could have a cordial relationship in secondary school. As complex as Excel seems to be, he's so good at Excel. He's so good at PowerPoint. I had to pressure his mom to put him through all of this. So when you get to undergraduate, you could take up valuable internships, online internships, so that when you're on break, you could go for those internships. You have to build skills related to what you want to do. You want to be in the finance space, and I'm mentioning things like, certain finance terms, you don't necessarily know. You are just maybe reading and throwing it away after the exam, or once you submit to the lecturer, you remove that one and keep the brain tabular rasa for the next section. So these are things I would advise students who want to move into the corporate field. You have to take, your undergraduate days is not, there's a word I heard someone say, was it 2 weeks ago, that everything they teach you in school is you don't use it after school. It is a very big lie. Everything I learned in school, I use it after school, provided you're still in same line. I did accounting, moving to finance. It's the same line. You need those theoretical knowledge to be able to apply practical understanding. So these are like two courses I'm going to recommend for students who want to thrive in their career. Actually,
All right, thank you. A round of applause for that response. And we're about to come to the end of this wonderful session. However, do we have a take home? Do any of our panelists have a take home for us? A take home, a word you want to leave us with?
okay. So I would just want to say something. We have mostly the students here. So first, I want to state is I think I've heard a lot of students, 100 level student.
Okay.
My younger brother just gained admission. He's
Alright.
in 100 level currently last year. And when he gained admission, the first thing that came to he called me on phone because I was at work. He called me on phone and said, what CGPA did you graduate with again? I told him. And he said, I'm going to beat it.
Wow.
So before that, my younger sister, who is in school in the East, she asked me what my CGPA when she was entering school. I think then I was still in terminal level, and she said she was going to beat it. So she did her ND. She was the best graduation student in that set
Wow.
then and all. So my brother through that challenge, but there was something that made him understand that one is it goes beyond the whole motivation. One, I feel motivation is a feeling. You could just hear the whole story about, oh, this person graduated with a first class. I think when I came into class two, my major motivation, who motivated me to even graduate with a first class, was a lecturer in my department. I've read her story before I gained admission, Dr. Refoa at the moment. Dr. Refoa, so I heard the whole story. I'm with me from the same department, and she was the overall best student in the school. So it was motivating how someone who is married could still thrive to graduate with a first class, and not just that, someone who, I think, her story from her last paper, she went to deliver. So literally you were pregnant and you could still do all of these things. So that was a motivation to me. But yeah, at first it was more like a feeling. So one thing, the motivation could fade, but for you to achieve the results, you have to put in structures. The first semester, I had to put in structures. I detailed my course. These are what I want to achieve in each and every of this course. The long-term goal, your long-term success, is the accumulation of your short-term results. So if your short-term results are not outstanding, the long-term will be outstanding. You're in 100 level, you want to graduate to 5.0 CGPA, and you want 2.0. How is that happening? So it has to start from the short term. You have to break down the long-term goals into small bits, achieve them, see that you achieve them consistently. Then it sums up to that big celebration you are looking out for.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much, sir. Next person.
Okay, so take home from me would be that everyone here, I would say that you should prepare for the journey ahead. Because I just told us that from primary school, I had a paradigm shift as to what I'm doing today. And I want to believe that every one of us here, we are probably, sorry if I don't get it correctly, but I feel we are more of students here, right? Yeah. So one thing I will tell you is that regardless of the level you are academically, I would personally advise, as someone who play big time in the corporate environment, I would tell you to prepare yourself more than just your academics. And I'm not just saying that based on experience, not just saying that based on corporate life experience, but also while I was in school, right? When I was in school, starting from year one, right, I was doing programs. So I did microbiology. University of Benin. I was the class rep, and I was also the departmental fellowship president, and I was also attending FAC. So I was also an ESCO. You see many things I brought together. So in all of this, what I'm trying to say is this: building capacity, building leadership, ability, right? You have to put all of these things together in the way that if you are studying a course, don't just spend all your life, right, doing that course. And the truth is that let's be sincere with ourselves. Nobody is doing that here. How many hours do you spend on academics-related activities in a day, right? Rather, you spend time on TikTok, spend time on other things that probably may not add impact and relevance to your life. Because the theme for this program is impact. After all of these things, you said everybody tells a story and you go. At the end of the day, the impact is not the motivation you have right now, but the decision you are able to make. What are the things you are doing that this training has helped you not to do? What are the things you were not doing that you now saw that this thing is part of the journey ahead of me, I need to keep doing it? Or the things you were doing that this training this program has emphasized that you need to keep doing this because it's part of what your journey entails. So, coming to the corporate world, you are not just going to be tested based on you read in school, right? Based on what you read in school, you have to prepare for the journey ahead, right? Leadership-wise, capacity-wise, learn, be vast, right? And I will close with this. Some of us need to understand the meaning of education, right? We need to understand the meaning of education. Education is from the Latin word educo, which means the ability to induce from within. So no matter how you are done with school, if you cannot induce from your within, if nothing is emanating from your inner self, that means you've probably wasted your time, your investment in school. So that will help you that your school is an advantage to what you want to become in life. Many of you here, when you are done with school, you're probably not gonna be like my brother here who did accounting and is now in finance. At least still a straight line, right? But many people is going to, if you check the statistics based on Nigeria, this thing, many graduates who left what they read in school is around 70% or even more. So that will tell you that you need to prepare yourself more than your classroom activities. Build yourself, read books, watch videos. I don't say movies. It's not TikTok. Watch videos that can help you, right? That can build you up, that can help you to be. The idea is be versatile, more than just being a student. Be versatile, and I'm sure that's going to help you in the long run. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you very much for that, sir. So I will close by saying, there's this story in the scripture, the story of Joseph and the story of Reuben. Joseph was offered a free bed offer with the master's wife, but he said no. Then Reuben had a similar offer, like with his father's concubine, and then Reuben accepted the offer. But at the end of the day, the father said, just because of what you have done, then the father placed a curse on him. So why do I mention that? I want you to understand that if you don't stand for something as a value, you will fall for everything that comes to your way. So, okay, this one is coming, you accept. This one is coming, you accept. So your value keeps you going. And then another thing to understand is that your value helps you not to live a borrowed life. Because I've observed now, with my close work with young people, there is this high level of people living borrowed life, borrowed identity, borrowed reality. You see what I've posted on social media, you never know what has gone behind the scene, and you just accept that as your reality. So borrowed personality too. Then we also have to consider that it also helps in such a way that you will not live your life as one who is just comparison driven. Oh, this person is doing well, and then you begin to place your life on another person's scale. So values are very essential, and we should hold on to it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Next person.
Thank you. Very briefly, I will just say, he talked about social media. It's causing a lot of distraction these days. So just stay away from distraction. If you really want to make a life of impact, avoid distraction. Avoid things that will distract you from where you are going. Avoid peer pressure that will distract you from getting to your goal. Then be consistent. Part of the values that our younger generation are not having now is that tolerance, that discipline. Just someone that failed JAMB, he went to drink sniper and he committed suicide. Is it he or she now? Last year. So that tolerance, that strong ability to receive some shock is not there. So don't let anything distract you. Be consistent and keep in the track so that you can get to your goal. I pray God will help you.
Thank you very
God will
much. A
help
round
us.
of applause for all our panelists. And we've come to the end of the first panel session. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It was an insightful session. Sir, please, let's take a good picture and then we can